Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Reads with Lauren. I am Lauren and it's so great to be chatting with you today. It has been a little while. Life has been a little bit crazy. It has been a little bit of a rough month in regards to reading. I am very excited to say that my brother has completed gender affirmation surgery. So that has taken up a lot of the time recently. And as well as that, I've also met someone really wonderful. Yeah, that's kind of been the priority the last couple of weeks, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. I'm trying to find some more books. I'm in a bit of a slump. So I broke my book buying ban again. Because I was in Melbourne for the surgery, I kind of opened myself up to the idea of being able to buy something again. It's kind of been like the sort of out. And I didn't have the intention of going to Melbourne as often as I have this year. I was hoping to slow down a little bit. But with the surgery and everything, yeah, that hasn't eventuated. But I've just gotten back from Melbourne and surprisingly, I didn't actually end up buying anything in Melbourne. However, the week prior to my going, in order to try and get my reading mojo back, I've picked up a couple of books. So let's chat about them. Some really exciting arcs. I went on a bit of a Stephen King hunt, and in my attempts to find the book I was looking for, I've picked up a couple of extra. So let's just talk about the books. Let's do it. So let's start with the arcs. And I recently was provided a copy of Ancient as the Stars by Maya Dajani. I hope that I am pronouncing that correctly. I'm currently halfway through this and really enjoying it. It's a real, it's confusing because it's got time travel and it has a future person meeting a past version of themselves, but we don't think it's from the same dimension. I don't know. It's been very complex, and reading it while I've been, in caretaker mode has meant that it's been a little bit hard to wrap my head around. But it is sci-fi. The main protagonist is quite fun, and there's a lot of really there's a lot of hilarious things that are said in regards to swearing, insults. It's been a ride. I've really enjoyed it so far, and I am hoping that it will continue to go on the same track and the same path, because it could very well become one of my favorite books of this month. But yeah, so I've been really enjoying that one. And the next one that I have, that I received as an art copy before realizing that it's actually book 2 in the series. So I'll either have to source that one or see if I can kind of wrap my head around the story without reading the first one, which feels wrong. But that is The Time They Saved Tomorrow by Steve Nallon. I don't know a whole lot about this one, and reading the synopsis, it basically implies that they are given a book that doesn't have any information in it. It is a blank book. However, they are sworn to protect it with their life. And look, it sounded really cool. I know that there is a reason that I decided to request a copy. But yeah, I didn't realize it was book number 2. So I'm hoping to get into this one within the next couple of weeks. I do have a bit of a deadline in order to be able to review it and be allowed to continue to review books. So I will keep you posted on that one. Another one that I picked up was Cry of Fangs by Kaylee Alessi. Now this one looked really fun. This is about 2 vampire cities, and they're kind of in a territorial war. I haven't read much more into it. I kind of don't want to. I want to be able to go into it knowing next to nothing, because especially with vampire books, it can sort of be something that's quite familiar already. So yeah, I'm hoping that it will be a really good read. I'm really delving back into the vampire sort of genre theme, and watched Daybreakers last night, which was actually really great. I really enjoyed that one. And as if you've seen any of my previous books, you'll know that I'm a big fan of Interview with a Vampire and have every intention of restarting that series at some point soon. But yeah, so this one really tickled my fancy. It sounded like it's kind of down my alley at the moment. So that's another one that I'm hoping to read in the next couple of weeks in order to be able to review it and continue reviewing advanced reader copies. And then one that I'm super, super pumped about, even though I haven't read Andrew Joseph White's last book, I have read the first book that he released and it was absolutely brilliant. So I will be reading very, very soon Compound Fracture. Andrew Joseph White is a very good author. It's horror, YA, LGBT. Generally, the main protagonist is transgender, which is always an exciting point for me. I love reading books with queer protagonists. It's really fun. So yeah, this is really, really high on the priority list. I really want to read this as soon as I can. So that's all the arcs that I've received, and I had to stop there because my reading has not been great this month. So I'm really hoping that I can get on top of that and, you know, even just spend the next couple of days really trying to read as much as I can in order to, you know, have a month that's kind of on par with the others, because it's really sad to say that I had only read up until a week ago like 2 books. I've managed to get the number up again, but that for me is a very low number. So I'm hoping that these books will be really motivating and give me the opportunity to get back into the swing of things, because I'm really missing reading. So I was determined. The end of last year, I read 11/22/63 and I was determined to find myself a copy. I had great intentions of going and trying to find a secondhand copy somewhere. Now, the local market that I go to generally fairly regularly usually has a whole supply of Stephen King books, and in amongst trying to find this book, I ended up picking up 2 others instead. Two that sound really good. And just remove the sticker. The first one that I picked up is Insomnia. So this one looked really interesting. It's classed as a relentless waking nightmare in which the master of horror and suspense guarantees you sure won't rest in peace. It sounds great. I haven't read much of Stephen King's work, but I really loved 11/22/63 and I loved aspects of The Stand, and I really enjoyed Dr. Sleep. The Shining was kind of hit or miss, but I want to really delve more into Stephen King. So I'm really excited to check this one out. And I also found, they all have stickers on them, but I also found in amongst the big pile of Stephen King books that didn't have the book that I wanted several weeks in a row, but that's okay, is The Bazaar of Bad Dreams. I really love this cover. I am a big fan of rainbow. If you put rainbow on a cover, it's guaranteed I'm likely to pick it up. So this is just a short story collection. I do have a couple of his short story collections. I've also got Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which I really want to read soon. But this one wasn't too expensive and it drew me in with the cover. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. That was during my attempts to try and find this book. I ended up purchasing it brand new because I couldn't wait any longer. I needed to have a copy of this on my bookshelf. I'm so pumped. It is definitely going to be a reread in the next few months. I won't go too much into it because I am going to be doing a video very, very soon about the books that I'd like to reread this year, and this is the top of the pile. I just could not put this down the first time round, and I'm so invested in going back into this story. In amongst my search for that book, I ended up picking up a couple of other books that I was super keen to get started on. So the first one that I'll talk about is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Fazal. This one has been on my radar for a few months. I saw it on Goodreads and I saw the cover and I just thought, this is great. It's stunning. I like the cover. I think it's really good. It's about a heist into sort of the Vampire Underworld. So I'm super pumped to get started on this. I took it with me on my journeys last week in Melbourne, but I didn't get a chance to start it. So this is going to be very high on the priority list as well. I also had the kids with me. So if you're not aware, my kids are not really big readers. They love mangas and they will read mangas all day, every day. But if you try and put a book in their lap, they're just not interested. And it's almost to the extent where when I say, oh, I want to go look at this bookstore, they almost try and push me to go in the other direction. They're like, no, you do not need any more books. But on this hunt for 11/22/63, the reason why I ended up buying a fresh copy from the bookstore was because the kids actually were like, well, if you really want this book, let's go to a bookstore. And I was not passing that opportunity up because they never want to go to a bookstore with me. So I did end up buying them a book. Only one. And it was just to finish the collection, and that is Spy Family Book 10. It's motivating me to completely reread this series. I have read the first 9, but it's been quite a while. So I'm hoping to get a start on that in the next couple of days and just get right through this series again, get absorbed in with the characters, because I believe that this is about Twilight as a kid, and it delves into his childhood, which is going to be really interesting. So yeah, I'm really excited. If this is a series you haven't heard of, it is really good. I highly recommend it. It is about a spy who has to infiltrate this school in order to be able to build a connection with the enemy that he is chasing, basically. So to do this, he needs to create a family, and he ends up adopting Anya, who is an empath and can read minds, and he ends up connecting with this woman, Yor, who is actually an assassin. But he isn't aware of that, and she isn't aware that he's a spy. But Anya can read minds, so obviously she's completely aware of what's happening. And it's so funny. The anime is really good as well. It's well worth it, especially if you like mangas that are a little bit funny and a little bit quirky and definitely more kid orientated. My kids love them. They think it's one of their favorite manga series. So yeah, it's well worth it. So yeah, that is on my radar as well very soon. And then the last book that I ended up buying, I ended up succumbing. I have been thinking about reading this for a long time, and I thought maybe a reading vlog will be the motivation to give it a go. And that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I am tentatively excited about this. I've heard so many different reviews. I've heard such good things. I've also heard really not great things. I've heard that book 2 is not that great. However, that's just people's opinion, obviously, but people that I really trust on YouTube haven't been a huge fan of this series. But I'm really intrigued. I want to give it a go. I want to see what the fuss is about. So I thought I'll pick it up and I will do a vlog. So I'll probably make a start on that soon, because I would love to make a start on this book really soon and find out what all the fuss is about. But yeah, that's the last book that I picked up. So that's 10 books that I have picked up, despite the fact that I am on a book buying ban. At least 4 of them were ARCs and I didn't buy them. So, I'm getting there slowly. And, a lot of these are books that I am really desperate to read, or were really cheap. Actually, I almost completely forgot. 1 second. Where is it? I nearly forgot. There was one more that I bought. I found this at the market for $1. Now, if you've seen some of my videos, you know that I am slowly working my way through this series. It puts me to sleep. Robert Jordan puts me to sleep. Literally. His writing puts me to sleep. So it's been a slow slog, and I have taken quite a big break. But I saw this and it was literally for $1 and I could not go home without it. And that is book 9 of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. I mean, look how big this is. For $1, I had to. I know I don't have the rest of the series in hard copy, but I couldn't pass this up. So this probably means that I will be checking the markets for more copies of these books so that I have them now that I have book 9. Oh no. I might not be able to continue my book buying ban. But, you know, if I can keep getting them for cheap, I don't think that's a big problem. So yeah, that's the other one that I had that I completely forgot to mention. But that's it from me. That is all for this video. It's short and sweet, I know, but I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things after finally getting, you know, my head around everything that's been happening in the last couple of weeks. All wonderful things, all amazing, amazing things. But yeah, they have been also quite tiring, and yeah, reading just hasn't been on the top of my priority list. But you know what? We're going to change that. This pile of books is hopefully going to change that anyway. So let me know in the comments if there's anything that you've bought recently that you're really, really excited to get started on. Let me know if there's any of these books that you have read and highly recommend. If there's any of these books that you have on your TBR, let's chat. Maybe we could read them together. That could be really fun. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I really look forward to chatting with you in the next video very soon. Goodbye, my darlings.